Hey everybody, it's Jen at Ink Paper Rubber. I bet you weren't necessarily expecting to see me this week with new product, but I am here. I had actually hoped that this would all come in before the shop hop this past weekend, but it did not. But the advantage is that means that all of you get a good crack at it and don't have to fight all the shop hoppers for it. So the very first thing that I want to show you is the Lawn Fawn stamp chamois, and I'm set up here because I want to actually show you a demo of how it works, and then I will show you a little bit more about it. So I'm kind of limited in my space right here, but this is the stamp chamois. When you get it, it's actually very stiff. What you do is you get it wet and then wring it out. So right now it's damp and it's very pliable. It will dry up again, and so when you're ready to use it, you just get it wet again. But what's really great about it is I'm going to go ahead and do this little stamp right here. I'm going to ink it up with black so that you can actually see what I'm doing, and I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it off a little bit. But you can see that there is still ink on that, and I'm just going to take my stamp chamois and I'm just going to wipe that off, and you can see how quickly and easily that cleans that ink off of that stamp. So it's really handy to have on your work table when you are working. All right, let me undo my phone from my tripod here so I can get you a little bit better view. So anyhow, that's what it looks like there. It's a pretty decent size. It's about, I don't know, about 7 inches tall and maybe 5 inches wide, so a really nice size. All right, before I get into products, I want to show you that we did get some new Stampington magazines in. We got 3 of them in. The first one we got is Somerset Studio. This one is for paper and mixed media artists. There's some really nice things in here. One of the things that I really love is this journal that you can see on the front. This is an artist profile, and that is right here at the very front of it. And just a really, really beautiful book that she has created. I also was really drawn to this one here. It's called A Journal of Little Things. And this is, she made her own art journal, but just did all kinds of little paintings and different little art pieces in it. So it doesn't always have to be great big things that you do. There is also a section here on turning your art into something functional, and it's taken an old hook that she found, I'm not sure if I can find it quickly enough, but altered it so that you can have a nice functional piece. Here's another one where they've taken a kitchen grater and turned it into an altered art piece. So some really fun things in that. The next magazine that we have is the Take 10, and this one, of course, is devoted to card makers primarily, and this one focuses on making cards in 10 minutes or less, so a little bit simpler. And there's lots of fall and holiday ones in there. Just glancing through here, I was really taken in by that one. I just really like the simplicity of that. I don't always find that everything in here looks like it's something that it would take 10 minutes to do, but I did really like the simplicity of that one. There's also some here in their design challenge. You can see it was this repeating circle or square motif in a 9 pattern, and just lots of different things that you can do. This is a really great resource if you're trying to work on cards and you're a little bit stuck, to maybe get this out and get some inspiration from a book like this. The very last book that we got in is the Somerset Apprentice. This one is a mixed media magazine. It says it's for the beginner, but I really think that it would be great for any mixed media artist. One of the things that I thought some of you might be interested in is it does have a section in here on gesso. They're talking to different artists about it, the techniques that they like to use gesso for, why they like using it. So that might be really nice for definitely some of the beginners to learn a little bit more about gesso. I also was really drawn to this one here. This is an altered cardboard junk journal. I thought some of you book arts people might be particularly interested in this one. Cardboard, of course, being a very cheap and readily available material, and so this is an article about using that to turn it into a junk journal. All right, let me go around and show you some of the rest of what I got in. Some of it is restocking of items, and some of it is some brand new items. So bear with me and I'll show you what we have. First thing we have is I did get back in some of the Nuvo products. We got in the Nuvo Sparkle Dust Glitters. You can see them there. And I do have a color chart here in the store, and it shows them both done on white paper and also on black paper. You can see most of them are fairly opaque and they don't look a lot different on the black or on the white. But for instance, there you can see how different the snow globe is when it's on the black and when it's on the white, because it's a little bit more translucent. And this is a card that we did a few months ago using these glitters. We used this die from Memory Box. And what's really striking about this glitter, besides how pretty and sparkly it is when you feel it, it does not feel like glitter at all. It almost feels like suede. It's so soft and smooth. So come in and check it out, and you can actually feel our samples that we have here. We don't mind that at all. Next up, we got back in some more of the Nuvo drops. There are several different varieties. There's crystal drops, there's glitter drops, and there are jewel drops. The ones that seem to be the most popular are the jewel drops. These are the colored translucent drops, and you can see here on our color chart that they're not a really solid or opaque. They have some translucency to them. And this is our Saturday Make and Take, and you can see we've done some fun little bubbles on there in colors that match the colors of our fish using the jewel drops. We also have some of the crystal drops. We got in the black and the white gloss. These are great. If you saw some of our previous demos, we actually use those to make eyeballs. Those would be perfect coming up for Halloween. If you had missed out on that, just stop by sometime and we will be happy to show you how you can do that. And finally, we got in some of the glitter drops. These are really nice. They have a lot of nice glitter. I think you can see there the Blue Lagoon, and I don't know how well you can see there the White Blizzard, but it definitely does have some glitter to it. We also got in the Honey Gold and the Silver Moon Dust. Just a quick note that these really are very different from Stickles, which of course is a glitter glue. They have some of the same properties, but these were actually designed to be dimensional and to dome up and make these nice drops. When I did my demo on the Nuvo products, we compared them to the Stickles, and they just do not hold their shape like this. So if you want that nice dome shaped, this is really the kind of product that you want. All right, next thing we have are some pan pastels. We have used these for some things in the past, and they are really high quality artist pastels in a pan form. They're very highly pigmented. One of these will last you the rest of your life. You will never, ever, ever use all of that up, trust me. Here are some samples that we have used this on. This is where we have used it with some stamps and Versamark and done some pretty backgrounds and then stamped with our Versamark and gone over it again using some of the various colors of the pan pastels. These always get lots of comments on them. They're so beautiful and they could not be easier to do. Here is a little bit different stamp that we did it on. In addition, you can also use it to create really beautiful backgrounds. It's much easier than doing ink blending. These are so smooth that really just one swipe of your color and you have your background. You can see we did that pretty sunset background with them as well. I have some new dyes here I'm going to show you that actually doing some backgrounds with some of these colors that I got in would be perfect for doing some backgrounds for some of the dyes that I have to show you. Got in a few basics, and I know these aren't really exciting, but sometimes there's some of you that are in need of some of these, and so now that you know that we have them, we have the 12 by 12 Silhouette Cameo cutting mat, also replacement blades, and also replacement cutting pads for your Sizzix machines for your Big Shot. This is a 2-pack of the standard cutting plates. All right, this stamp set here is one that has been around for quite a while. We have used it in the past. We actually used it on this card here. This card always gets lots of comments. It uses an Impression Obsession die, which I did have in a set of these little leaves, but we sold out during the shop hop. But that sentiment that you see in there is from this stamp set. So you can see it has several really nice sentiments, but then it also has these really beautiful leaves, and you can see that they actually have music inside of the leaves, or there is almost like a cancellation. That one has some script in it. This is a clear set, and one of the things that I always got asked about, are there dies for those leaves? And there never were dies. Well, now there are dies. There is a die set that actually cuts out all those leaf shapes. So if you come in to get this, or if it's something that you purchased in the past, you might want to check out this coordinating die set. All right, last things I have to show you, and these are brand new items. If you are itching to get started on your Halloween crafting, then you definitely want to come in and check these out. This is part of Tim Holtz's new release with Sizzix, and here you can see these are all Thinlits dies. This one is the cobweb, and I just think that the detail on that is amazing. It is so intricate and so detailed. It is just a single die. I might point out that all four of these dies that I'm going to show you are only $13, so they are actually a really, really good price. The next one here is called the Moonlit Owl, and I can think of so many things that you could do with that. You can see that it cuts out that negative space in there. I think a distress oxide background or maybe a pan pastel background to create a big orange moon would be really awesome. Also can see this as making a really great shaker card. This next one might look familiar to some of you. I believe that Tim previously had a thin strip die that had these trick-or-treaters on it, and I believe he also had a stamp set with them on it, but they are now out in a Thinlits die, so they are bigger than they were before. And this actually has several dies. It has the trick-or-treaters. You can see it has a die for the bat there, and then it also has the trick-or-treat word dies down there. Last one to show you is the ornate owl, and this one may be my favorite. I just really cannot believe all the detail in this owl. It really is amazing, and I cannot wait to see that cut out. Speaking of seeing these cut out, if you go to Tim's blog and go back, I think it was about the middle of July when he first announced this release, he does have a video on his blog where he shows some samples using all these products, so that you might want to go check that out. One last little peek that I want to give you here is these are Distress Oxide Reinkers in the new colors. I'm going to tell you right now that these are all spoken for. That's the value of doing pre-orders, is that you get to be first in line when new things come in. I don't have the ink pad yet, but they are due to arrive tomorrow. I believe that I still have some extras of most of the new ink pad colors. I also have the original 12 colors coming in the Distress Oxides as well. I imagine that they'll go fast because, of course, we have got our Distress Oxide card class coming up next week, and so I'm sure that that is going to motivate some people to try them out for themselves. All right, that's what I have for you this afternoon. If I get my shipment in tomorrow, I will be back and share that with you. In the meantime, have a great evening, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Goodbye.